Welcome to another episode of Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement. I'm here at the News Forum where all voices matter. Recently, finally, we're starting to get a decent public policy debate on housing affordability. As viewers of Boom and Bust know, we have been covering this for quite a while. Back to discuss is David Clement. He's no relation, but he is the North American Affairs Manager of the Consumer Choice Center. Welcome back, David.
Thank you very much for having me.
So I guess the first thing is give us your take on the state of housing affordability in Canada at present.
Yeah, I mean, it is really uncomfortable out there for people, young people predominantly, millennials looking to enter the market like myself. If we look at what the last 10 or 12 months has brought us, we're looking at record price increases month over month in many markets for 6, 7+ months in a row.
Right.
And this isn't just on the home buying side, it's also on the rental side, because obviously this has an impact on renting. And so, for example, a two-bedroom apartment in the city of Toronto requires an annual income of about $118,000. That is nowhere near what the average family income is in Toronto. And so we now have a scenario where the average home is out of reach for the average family. And I think that that's something that should resonate with politicians from across the political spectrum.
Yeah, and let's just stick on the rental side for a moment, because I've noticed that as well, that there's even a market of buying homes and then leasing them out, right? So it's not as if there's an extra supply as a result of rentals. It has an impact on the broader housing market.
Yeah, and if we look at how housing has changed since 2016, the number of housing units per capita in Canada per 1,000 people is actually down from 2016. So we have fewer homes in Canada per 1,000 people than we did not that long ago. And in Ontario, and I use Ontario as the example because obviously it's the most populous province in Canada, Ontario actually went from 403 units per 1,000 people to 398. And so we have some serious backsliding or regression in terms of building and the issue of chronic undersupply. And now really is the time for our political leaders, provincial, federal, and municipal, to figure out how we can get these homes built and figure out how we can bring Canada on par with the rest of the G7 in regards to homes per capita.
Yeah, and I'd like to jump to that topic right away. I think that's really important. We obviously had a recent federal budget. Did it address this issue at all? And what's your take on how well or poorly they did if they did do so?
No, I don't think it did. I mean, a lot of the Liberal budget does what I would call tinkering at demand or tinkering with demand. An example would be a blind bidding ban. Economists have already explained that a seller's market produces higher prices. It doesn't matter whether you have an open auction or blind bidding. And so we have a Liberal Party that's attempting to enact policy that has the appearance of having an impact, but does very little to address the issue of chronic undersupply. And what they've announced for undersupply is a rough estimate of about 100,000 new homes. Well, Ontario alone needs 650,000 new homes just to get to the national average, and that national Canadian average is the worst in the G7.
Right. So, as you say, tinkering around the edges, nothing really new there. In this sense, though, I guess we do have a question, and we've got about 30 seconds left, so maybe just start answering. We'll jump to the next segment. But sure. What level of government is most responsible for where we are and who is best able to help solve it?
The local governments are by far the institutions that are at fault here. They've largely gotten us into this mess. In regards to what other levels of government can do to fix the problem, There are a lot of policy options that include tying funds to infrastructure and development and ensuring that municipalities really live up to the standard that they're supposed to in regards to making livable communities.